where do you actually stand? Like a lot, and a lot of times we are being influenced by the aggregate, but of course the key here would be, before we want to have good mentors, and you're an average of the 5 people you spend closest most time with. But I loved everything you talked about from Bob. It's like, you got to have an encounter. I mean, superseding I'll run off a list. I actually think the danger of sharing the list, at least from my personal experience, is people might think, oh yeah, so Sean has really learned from this person and that person and this and that. But any level of fortitude and being the opposite of a reed shaken by a wind is Holy Spirit, prayer, fasting, encounter, planted in local church, trying to read the Bible cover to cover annually, and not to be, that's where that unshakableness, and I think a message that actually has power on it, where authority comes from, would be authority comes from the king himself and from the throne. So you got to have a level of an encounter there. So I think that for everybody listening, your depth there, it's also, that's going to be the harder. That's harder. It takes time. Not that that should be the way we think of our intimacy in prayer and with God, but it's not fast. It's not, I'm all for Christian content creators on TikTok, but the TikTok feed or the Instagram reel feed is a bad place for spiritual development. Ultimately, I think a lot of people should missionally be creating insane amounts of content there, because that is the language of culture right now. But there's something about old school paper Bible. There's something about, multi-hour Pentecostal church meetings. There's things that have happened in my life. Like, what is it? There's something about prayer meetings. There's something about praying 60 minutes every single Wednesday for the 7 years, every morning, before youth group, to lay a foundation for that. Besides church and prayer ministry, like pre-service, not even pre-service, but pre-day prayer, because we spent a whole day. Yeah. Do something like that, like get into that, like that shapes your heart, shapes your mind. So I think that's foundational.
I'm Patrick. I'm a husband, a human, a dad, a creator, and a worship pastor living in New York City. And what you just watched was a short snippet from a conversation I got to have with Sean Cannell, the CEO of Think Media. If you want to see the rest, click the link down in the description.